Hello everybody, it's MAGMA. I'm here with a brand new LEGO Star Wars review. So today we're going all the way back to 2009 and we're taking a look at the Tantive IV, or Tantive IV if you want to look at it that way. This is set number 10198. It contains 1,408 pieces, includes 5 minifigures, and it used to retail for $150 US. Definitely it was worth its $150 US, but I would argue that nowadays it is not necessarily worth much more, but you're definitely gonna have to pay much more than that if you want to get this in a good condition. So it is important to mention that this set was part of the 10th anniversary LEGO Star Wars line. From that sort of line in 2009, we had the Tantive IV, we had the Battle of Endor, or Battle on Endor, I can't remember. We had the Mon Calamari Star Cruiser, and we also had the Tauntaun, Hoth Echo Base kind of thing. So there you go, that's all the sets that we got from that line. In fact, I have all of them, so maybe I'll make a video someday about it. So what to say? There's so many things I want to say about this set. First of all, this is always a set that I really wanted to have, and I'm very glad I could finally review it for you guys. I think not a big highlight, which is actually pretty disappointing on the set, is the minifigures, and I thought it'd be good to start off with those. So the first minifigure we get is C-3PO. Now, not much to say about him, honestly. In fact, I think it's kind of just a poor minifigure. It's good to have him included, but there's really not much we can say about him. It's the simple and plain gold C-3PO we've always had. Then we have the Clone Wars R2-D2, which is kind of lame at the same time. I would have liked some sort of special classic R2-D2, but it's just the regular one from the Clone Wars, so nothing exciting. Then we have Princess Leia. Now, some sets could get the smooth hair Princess Leia, which goes for $200 US, but this one is just the normal one. It's a pretty cool minifigure, not too much to say about her. There could have been some more printing on her, so yeah. And I don't know if she's exclusive to this set. She might be. No, she came in the Death Star as well, so yeah. And then we also get the Rebel Trooper. So again, we got him, I think, the year before in 2008 in a battle pack where there was 4 of these guys, so really nothing special about him, although nowadays he's kind of just a harder minifigure to get. And finally we have Captain Antilles, my favorite minifigure of this set, definitely. He has 2 faces, one where he's kind of scared and the other one where he's just smirking, kind of happy. His helmet isn't special, but his torso print is, and he's just a cool minifigure to have and has always remained exclusive to this set. I believe he goes for around $30 US by himself, so yeah. And when you realize and take a look at the set, you realize that actually the minifigures really aren't the big drive. In fact, if you're getting the set for the minifigures, the minifigures altogether except Captain Antilles probably can be worth $20. So really, yeah. And mine, you might have realized that there's some pieces such as the radar dish which are kind of discolored on mine. I didn't actually have the time to do the hydrogen peroxide on this one, mainly because there hasn't been any sunny days and I just wanted to get this review out and build this set to see it for what it is. But count on it that definitely sometime in the future I will be, maybe in a week or so, I'll be getting this set back in its original state. So there's so many, we'll start off with the fun features, I guess, but there's quite a bit to say about this. So, first up, I'd like to talk about the front part. There isn't really a handle on this set, so it kind of makes it hard. So when you want to move the set around and all. Let me just get a bit closer. Whoops. There we go. And yeah, so that's the cockpit. These pieces are actually transparent, as you can see, but they have printing white on it. Now, some of the sets don't have this. Mine has the lines. It was pretty common, and even if I do get all my white pieces to the 100% color that they were back in 2009, here's kind of the this coloring I was talking about. But it's alright. Doesn't hurt the set in itself. It just doesn't look as refined. But even if I do get all my white pieces like this one, which is 100% white, it still doesn't match 100% with this color. It's not a big issue, but I thought it's worth mentioning. And you can just open the cockpit up like this, and then here you have two spaces. So there's actually more, there's quite a bit of space if you want to put more minifigures, but there's only 2 seats and 2 controls. And you want to get both Captain Antilles and your Rebel pilot in there. So the cockpit definitely is good. I could have expected it to be worse, honestly. This set could have been much worse in that sense. And just, so yeah. And that's a print, and if you were wondering, yes, I mean I can show the under part of the set at this point. It's kind of a heavy set, and there is printing right there. So yeah, and while we're still under here, I do want to mention that we do have an under turret, which serves kind of as the, these guns go up and down. I'll show you the identical one on top. But it kind of serves as a landing gear. And then here's a look at the under part. I guess I could just, oops. And this is the other landing gear type thing. It just holds the set. And as you can see, it does have a bit of detail, but not too much. So yeah, biggest problem with this set, in my opinion, definitely, is no handle. And it's very, very irritating because there's no way to properly hold this set without kind of breaking it apart. And not breaking apart in the sense that the set is like not strong enough, because I mean it's definitely a strong structure, but there's these pieces here, which is the only place where you can hold it, and they kind of break off easily, and this comes off easily as well. Because that's part of the fun features. So there's definitely some sort of issue with that. And even though the handle would have like kind of destroyed the look of the set and would have taken like this fun feature apart, for example, I still would have liked to see it. So that's what we have for the cockpit. Next we can just like zoom in. Here we have this turret. It's alright, it's actually a pretty good turret. Turns 360, the guns go up individually. Again, it would have been really like nothing to just have them go up together at the same time. It would have been a bit cooler, but this is 2009 Lego Star Wars. And here you do have a hole. It's kind of supposed to be there. That's like how the cockpit backs up. So yeah, getting to this middle section, it's very simple. There's quite a bit of detailing, as you can see there. Some sort of greebling. Reminds me of the Republic Cruiser, actually, from 2007. And you can actually just pop this entire part off, like this. Put that aside, and there's quite a bit of fun feature in there. So definitely, you can have quite a bit of fun. So we have Leia, and she can go ahead and sit right there at her desk. It's kind of an awkward look because she's pretty far away from her desk. On her desk, I have the Death Star plans. There's a crate included, so this is the Death Star plans. Camera won't focus. There you go. And I just put them here because there was a crate, or there is a crate here, and they don't fit in there. So I thought it was for the plans, but apparently not. Here we have the control panels, as you can see, on both sides, both control panels. And something that I was curious about is, could I have my minifigure standing, like, all over the place in here? Could I have minifigures standing? Now, the case is that if they're standing, the top hatch is not going to close correctly, so the only way to have more minifigures in there is to just sit them everywhere. But that still allows for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and you can fit in 7 and 8, I think. So more minifigures, and if you wanted to recreate another scene of the Tantive except for this like desk, you could definitely do that. Just like remove the desk, and then all of a sudden you have so much more space. So there you go. And that's this part. So I think it's a pretty cool fun feature. I'd have a lot of fun playing with it. And then we have these guns here. They turn a bit. And then you have the same ones here on the back. Some detail gribbling, obviously, because even though this is not a UCS set, it's part of the direct consumer line, and it's really aiming for people who don't really want to play so much with their Star Wars sets, but really have an amazing looking build. And that's the thing with this set, even though the fun features aren't like so much fun to play with, you're going to have like a set that's just going to look amazing. So here, this middle section, you might be asking yourself, what is this middle section? It's pretty simple. You just pop this open, like this, and it's pretty simple. And in there, we have this. So I was kind of confused on what this is originally. But I believe, so imagine yourself, I'll just use the Rebel Trooper, it'll make more sense. And I'll have to use that little crate that I saw earlier, I think. So you can have your crate. It's one of those little transports that we see on Yavin 4. It's basic build. There you go. So not the most desirable fun feature, not the most desirable build, but nonetheless, it's a cute little addition to the set. It doesn't hurt it in any way, and it's kind of just there. So if I have to make a Rebel base, definitely it'll be fun to pop that in there. And that just, you just fit it in there. It doesn't fully enter, it kind of just sticks out, and you just put this piece right there. And then we'll have a crate go back in here. And this guy's gonna go back in the cockpit. So that moves us onto the radar dish. As you can see, it's a bit yellowed. You may realize that some pieces are a bit yellowed on this set. As I've mentioned, I hope to treat them someday. But it can, like, the thing is, it can go sideways like this. And it can go up and down. So really, you can have your fun with that. And that brings me to this next fun feature as well, the cockpits. Nope, excuse me, the escape pods. You pull them off like this. They are identical on each side. So on the other side you have the same escape pod over there. And what you want to do with this is you want to just open it up. Focusing today is not on point. Okay, so you open it up like this and you can have C-3PO. So obviously there's many ways to just fit your figures in escape pods. We always have to struggle because limited space. But the way the box tells you to put like the minifigures is like this, which personally I think is kind of odd. I'm not one to make usual sexual connotations, but definitely not the most comfortable position. So yeah, and that's I believe the only way that you can get your figures in there. Close it up like this. And you may realize that around the set there's some stuff which is not like coherent. So this is supposedly obviously all white, but they tell you to put this piece because it's an old Rebel transport and the Rebels don't have the means to repair all the time, I guess. I believe that's about it for this side. That's about it for this side then. If I turn the set around, it's the same fun feature here. And that leads me to the engines, which is my favorite part of the set, I think. Mainly because they look so cool. So let's see if I can get the camera. Let's see if I can handhold the camera. I don't think. it's going to be too blurry. There you go. Some pretty cool engines. Honestly, I feel like LEGO really nailed it. Whoops. So yeah, it looks pretty darn cool. And the nice part about this, hold on 1 second, let me just, it's a pretty big set, so my studio is having a hard time with it. And I can get this top angle right here. You can see there's a bunch of detail, each time slightly different. And I could say the same thing for the engine designs. There's some slightly different ones. And I believe I've already shown you the under part of the set, so really no need to go all the way over there. But you get the idea. So, that's actually all the fun features that I can think of for this set. But then again, it's not supposed to be a set full of fun features, it's more of a just UCS kind of look-like set. Alright guys, so it's time to conclude the video. That was all the fun features, all the minifigures. There isn't much more to say about this set. Just general thoughts, I guess. It's an expensive LEGO Star Wars set, but now that I have it, I mean, I've been looking at it for like years on like images and like eBay listings for really high prices. Now that I have it in hand with me, like the build right there, I do believe it's definitely a set completely worth having. So for a LEGO Star Wars collector, it's I'm very happy to have it. I've been really waiting for LEGO to remake this set instead of buying this version of it, but apparently LEGO doesn't seem to be making new versions of this. Hopefully they will in the future, and we'll all be able to acquire this set for a cheap price. But in the meanwhile, this is definitely the better version of the two that LEGO has ever released. The 2000 or 2001 version, I believe, is really poor. It is much bigger than this one, however, it's much more fragile, doesn't really move, the detail isn't all the way there. So it's the other one is a good model, but this one is more accurate, it's easier, and honestly I feel like it's more compact, and that's what I like about it. So yeah. So that's going to be it for this LEGO Star Wars set review. Please leave some comment and feedback in the comment section below. I'd like to know what are your thoughts on this LEGO Star Wars set. And in general, should LEGO or should LEGO not remake this LEGO set? Thanks for watching, and otherwise I'll see you guys next time here on the channel for a great other LEGO Star Wars review. Bye bye.